Look at the expensive bundle of asparagus in your hand. We are told it is the king of vegetables. But let's be honest, it is often stringy, it is woody, and it traveled 2,000 miles in a dark truck just to get to your plate. You are eating the convenient version. You are eating the shadow. Because the real king was dethroned 100 years ago. Meet sea kale. It has more vitamin C than an orange. Its shoots are sweeter than asparagus. Its florets are richer than broccoli. And unlike the fragile crops that die every winter, this beast is a perennial. You plant it once and it feeds you for 20 years. So here is the crime scene. If this plant is superior in taste, nutrition, and longevity, why is it extinct in American supermarkets? It didn't disappear because it tastes bad. It disappeared because it refused to surrender. It cannot be stacked in a crate for weeks. It cannot be controlled by the logistics industry. It chose death over mediocrity. But their loss is your loophole. By the end of this video, I will show you how to resurrect this forgotten monarch in your own backyard. You will learn the secret technique that turns this tough coastal weed into the most expensive vegetable you simply cannot buy. Welcome to Ancestral Soil. To understand the true power of this plant, we have to stop looking at it as a vegetable. We have to look at it as survival gear. Long before Thomas Jefferson planted it in his garden at Monticello in 1809, and long before King George IV served it at his royal banquets, this plant was doing something impossible. It was saving lives on the high seas. You see, sea kale is a halophyte. That means it thrives in salt. While other crops wither and die if the water gets too salty, sea kale drinks it up. It pushes its roots 6 feet down into the gravel of the shoreline, pulling up minerals that make it a nutritional bomb. For centuries, sailors traveling the coasts of Europe looked for its glaucous blue-green leaves. They knew that inside those leaves was the cure for scurvy. It was medicine masquerading as food. It is a biological anomaly. It loves the storm. It loves the salt. It grows where nothing else can survive. And this brings me to a question for you. I want you to check your memory. Have you ever seen a plant growing out of a crack in the concrete or a pile of gravel in your own driveway, looking perfectly healthy without any soil? If you have, answer yes in the comments below. Because if you have seen that, you have witnessed the same biological power that makes sea kale immortal. But to truly appreciate what we have lost, we must travel back to the 19th century. In Victorian England, sea kale wasn't just food, it was an obsession. It was the lobster of the vegetable world. If you walk through the antique gardens of old British estates today, you might stumble upon strange, large terracotta pots scattered in the fields. They look like chimney pots or decorative urns. These are sea kale forcers. They were built specifically for this one plant. Gardeners would place these heavy clay domes over the sea kale in late winter, packing them with warm manure to generate heat. Inside that dark, warm chamber, magic happened. The plant, tricked into thinking it was buried deep underground, would shoot up rapidly. The result was a vegetable so tender, so crisp, and so white that it became the centerpiece of the finest dinners in London. It was served with melted butter and toasted bread. It was the height of luxury. So, how did we go from that to nothing? The fall of sea kale is a story of industrial murder. It began with the invention of the railway, and later the refrigerated truck. The modern food system does not care about nutrition. It does not care about flavor. It cares about one thing: shelf life. The industry needed a vegetable that could survive a 2,000-mile journey without bruising. They needed a crop that could be harvested by machines tossed into crates and ignored for 2 weeks. They looked at sea kale and they saw a problem. Sea kale is wild. Its leaves are tender. Its natural sugars begin to break down the moment you cut it. Like sweet corn, it loses its soul if it sits too long. It demands to be eaten fresh. It refuses to sit in a plastic box for 14 days. So the industry replaced it with something tougher. They chose asparagus. Asparagus has a thick, fibrous skin. You can stack it, drop it, and ship it across continents, and it still looks the same. It is the perfect soldier for industrial logistics. We traded the delicate sweetness of the king for the woody texture of a soldier. We chose convenience over quality, and slowly the great terracotta pots were smashed or forgotten. The sea kale beds were paved over, and the taste was lost to memory. But while the industry rejected it, nature perfected it. This plant is a biological fortress. If you look closely at a sea kale seed, it doesn't look like a normal seed. It looks like a piece of cork. It is a round, hard, floating capsule. Evolution designed this seed to float in the ocean for days, riding the salty waves until it washes up on a barren, rocky beach. Once it lands, it drives a taproot 6 feet deep into the earth. This root is its bank account. While modern annual crops like lettuce or spinach have weak, shallow roots that need constant watering, sea kale mines for water deep underground. It stores energy in that massive root system, allowing it to hibernate through the harshest winters. This is why it is a perennial powerhouse. Most vegetables die after one season. Asparagus takes 3 years to harvest and lasts for maybe 10, but sea kale. You plant it once and it will feed you every single spring for 20 years. Some clusters in England have been documented to survive for half a century. It is not just a vegetable, it is a legacy. So this brings us to a crossroads. We have traded flavor for logistics. We have traded nutrition for shelf life. I want to ask you a serious question. Be honest. Would you rather have a mediocre vegetable like asparagus that is available 365 days a year simply because it fits in a truck? Or would you rather wait for a vegetable that is available for only 3 weeks in the spring but tastes better than anything you have ever eaten? Do you choose convenience or do you choose excellence? Let everyone know where you stand in the comments. If you chose excellence, then here is the loophole. You do not need a coastline to grow this. You do not need salt spray. You just need a strategy. It starts with a technique called forcing. You don't need expensive antique terracotta pots. A simple large black bucket with a rock on top works perfectly. In the early spring, when the purple shoots first break, the soil cover them. Block out all the light. In the darkness, the plant panics. It stretches out searching for the sun. It pumps all its stored sugars from that massive root system into the new stems. Check it after 2 to 3 weeks. When you lift the bucket, you will find ghostly white stems with pink tips. Snap one off. It will break with a crisp sound. Cook it simply. Steam it for 5 minutes and serve with butter and lemon. The flavor is complex, nutty like a hazelnut, sweet like corn, with the rich texture of the finest broccoli stem. This is the flavor that Thomas Jefferson loved. This is the flavor that was stolen from you. But a warning, do not go to the beach and dig this up. In places like the UK, wild sea kale is protected by law. It is forbidden to touch it. Instead, buy root cuttings, also known as thongs, from a specialty nursery. Plant them in a sunny spot with sandy, well-draining soil, and then practice the hardest skill of all patience. Growing sea kale is not just gardening. It is an act of rebellion. When you plant this, you are refusing the mediocre vegetables the industry wants to sell you. You are rejecting the idea that food should be designed for trucks instead of people. You are reclaiming a flavor that was stolen from you by the logistics industry. Remember, asparagus is a rental. You buy it, you eat it, it's gone. But sea kale is ownership. You plant it once and it stands by you for 20 years. It is a legacy you leave in the soil. So here is my final challenge to you. Do not just watch this video and go back to buying plastic-wrapped vegetables. Find a root, put it in the ground. If you are ready to stop renting your food and start owning it, prove it. Write this in the comments below. I choose Perennial. And if you believe this knowledge deserves to be found, do not let the algorithm bury it again. Hit the like button to signal that you demand better food. Share this video with a friend who is tired of eating the shadow. And subscribe to the channel right now. We have many more secrets to dig up. This is Ancestral Soil. Join the resistance.